There it is.
Final word. When you hear that music,
Another one.
It's another one. We sound like DJ Khaled. It's another one.
Let me see, man.
Another one.
I better have that
It's
button.
another one.
I don't have that button.
Yeah, I know you should. You got that one, but you
Another
it's
one.
another one. There it is.
Yes,
there
I
it is.
do.
It's another one. Say it again.
Another one.
Say it again, boss.
Let's go. Man. Let's go. I got something else for you too.
You gonna have to roll that like, y'all. I need to get some Yoga Fire, Yoga Flame, because you had like you don't want to play that no more.
Oh, you pushing me. Let's go.
Yoga fire.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yoga
Let's go.
Flame.
Let's go. All
Come
right.
on, need my Yoga Flame.
Ooh, so y'all get
Define
ready,
a
man.
word.
This is a dope show. It's already dope because of who in the building. We have no other than Iisha Morrison and DMV.
Salute. Salute.
With another
Yeah. It's another one.
So we get talk some football. So, Aisha, how you doing?
I'm good, guys. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here. Talk some ball before I take this time off.
DMV, man, how you feeling, film god?
Hey, bro, look, I just had the opportunity to do what I love doing the most, which is get out there on the field with some kids, bro. So I'm at peace right now. I
Right.
can talk with y'all, so I'm good.
The final word.
Man, you feeling that,
Yes, sir.
that woo side, that woo side, that woo
Yeah,
side.
dopamine, right?
Oh, man. Me and the OC was talking, man, like, even before we partnered up on Boss Cowboy Sports, and one of the main things that stood out to me, and I'm pretty sure this apply to y'all, football is out there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's how we release. You know what I mean? We love it. You know. So anyway, it's the final word, and so Law is on his way. So we getting ready to see my boy Law too. So yeah, no, I'm excited, man. We got plenty of football, and then this is the best part. Aisha, you saw a lot of things firsthand that we didn't see. You know. And there are some questions that we're gonna have for you that only you gonna be able to answer because you was in the building and you had a bird's eye view. So I'm excited, man. Let's go.
Define a word.
Turn that down, some shit. I forgot. Aisha, I got you. I forgot you. I got you, Aisha. I got you. She said, turn that down. Okay.
Just turn it down a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Big.
Yo.
I know you gotta go soon, man. So
I gotta go now.
go ahead and kick it off. What would you go ask Aisha?
I need to know about that cornerback position. I need to know,
the final word.
is this just a lot of foo-foo with Kelvin Joseph or not? Because I heard Mike McCarthy give him glowing. Hey, this is the best he's looked. You know, the nickels helping him for the outside. But I heard Dan Quinn, he ain't said nothing. And, you know, they talk about, Dan Quinn talks about his players. Not too much, but he'll bring up names. But I never see him talk about Kelvin Joseph. So I'm just wondering, how is he feeling about the situation with him? Is he feeling the same way Mike is?
Yeah. So with Kelvin, man, I think Kelvin is really in a position where anything he gets, he's gonna really have to earn. He's gonna really have to go above and beyond. He's gonna have to flash. He's gonna have to be around, you know, when plays are being made. And I don't know, man. We have seen him, you know, work with the safeties and do some of those things. But you know that sometimes when that type of stuff starts happening, that's them trying to figure out where you're best suited. I know people kind of mentioned him being a free safety possibly. And I was trying to be open. I'm actually kind of open to seeing what happens, because if you look at that free safety position, you know, behind Malik Cooker, it gets kind of where's the free safety. So I'm curious about, you know, what's gonna happen with camp. But I will say, I have not seen anything just extravagant from him so far. He's had a couple of pass breakups and some things of that nature, but I've just been seeing him doing mostly, you know, things off to the side and stuff. So From a coach's standpoint, though, I will say they understand a player's progress more than we do. I mean, some of you guys have coached, you know, that you can speak on that stuff. So if Mike McCarthy feels like he's seen improvement in him, then I'm not going to knock that. We haven't gotten a huge chance to see it as of yet. So I think for camp is going to be huge for him to make some splash plays. We're going to have to get his name, you know, because it's tight in there. That cornerback room went from being empty to being like, okay, you do have some pretty good backup guys and some guys that can come in and play. So long-winded answer, but I honestly don't know what is to come for him, but I do understand it's under his control.
I feel that. I appreciate that answer. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all in a minute. I'm going to jump over on Teague stuff, and I'll be back in about 20 minutes. 30 minutes.
Beautiful. See you in a minute, big.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right.
See you, Aisha. I'll talk to you back in a minute.
Bye.
All right, DMV.
I just wanna run it up.
I do.
Kinda check or something. I've been really in the field, let up. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Kinda check or something. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Revan now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now.
Let's go.
Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment.
I do.
You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Man, that's it's always so true. It's always so true. I just want to run it up. All right, so so let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off with the heavy stuff. All right. And before we kick it off, I do want to say something real quick. We got some more guests that's coming, so I want to say that first because there's a lot of people that's gonna watch this on rerun. We have Kevin Gray coming, we have Clarence Hill coming, we have Yeoman coming, we have Vach coming. All right, so most of them are actually booked to a particular date. We also have Rome coming, so and that's just a few. So we still got even more. I just want to say that before we get into the show. But then I want to highlight something real quick, and then just kick it off with Aisha and DMV. So some things that I really want to slow down before we start getting into football. I want to talk about personal success, accomplishing goals, accomplishing dreams. So this came from Derek Eagleton. And he said, you ladies broke records this year. Let's just let's stop right there and clap it up. Just on that first sentence, damn it. Come on now, clap it up.
Yeah.
Clap it up. Come on, that's just on that. Let's clap it up. So let's keep going. No other podcast in Cowboys history. Forgive me for getting more because I'm excited about this. No other podcast in Cowboys history has had more listeners in their first year. So proud of what you've created. The best is yet to come. So then Haley, it just talked about with Aisha, the knowledge of the game has pushed me to step up my game. Oh! So let's just start with that. And we go keep going. So Aisha, we want to obviously hear about that momentum that you got going. We gotta hear this about this. So it's on you. What's your thoughts on? Can I call you bland? Is that appropriate?
What? Like
Yeah.
Duran Bland?
No, yeah. I think it's a perfect analogy. Bland.
Yeah.
Where, let's be honest, where you coming from the YouTube streets, right? That's almost like being a 5th or 6th rounder. You don't have the North Texas journalistic, but you got the heart that you got from the YouTube streets and just learning. Can you take us through your story? Because this is amazing.
Yeah, man. So first of all, I want to thank God for being here and having the opportunity to be here.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm very grateful for my journey. Very, very grateful for my journey. I wouldn't be here, if I'm being straight up with y'all, if I hadn't got injured in the military. I was really on a fast track to, be in law enforcement, do private security, do that stuff. And I got injured and I had to make some business decisions. Y'all know, I had to make some decisions on what else, life had for me and what else I was good at. And so I really kind of sat with it and I came to football. And once I started really looking at my past and how much I've been involved with the game and wanted to be involved with the game, I realized that I had something. And the people around me pushed me. I mean, shout out to Okoye, Vach, those guys. They got to a point to where they decided they weren't even going to talk ball with me until I got on camera.
Beautiful.
Until I did that. They really pushed me to do that. And I was so scared, y'all, because quite honestly, I didn't know how the world was going to react to me. I learned football basically by myself. So all this stuff has just kind of been in my head. And for me to start saying it out loud and people being like, oh, no, you're kind of smart, lady, it took me a minute to really believe it, to believe like, oh, okay, this is a gift. Like, I really credit nothing to myself. I really credit it to God because I really learned this just in passing, kind of. So,
that's amazing.
I have a lot of y'all to thank because I got to see y'all do it. I kind of got to see it in motion, and I don't think, like I said, I would have ever turned on a camera if I hadn't seen you guys on camera, if I hadn't seen your shows and seen you involved. Vach, like I said, Koye, those guys, I wouldn't have touched this. So that's really how I got here. It's really how I got here. This is beyond my wildest dreams, being and doing this. And even though I love football since I was a kid, I always said I wanted to be doing this, but to actually be doing it, I have to kind of sit in it and enjoy it and let myself enjoy it, because that's what I'm struggling with right now. Like, oh, this is happening. So, yeah.
I bet. And shout out to Kevin Gray. He's going to be with us on Sunday. He said, let's go, Aisha. So it's a lot of support.
He's so supportive of me.
Yeah, it's a lot of support. Yeah, and I call Kevin Gray the president. Like, because I'm a second generation Cowboy fan. He third generation. So when I saw him go off a couple of times on the fan, I said, yeah, that's the president. But anyway, guys, I want to go around the room real quick and just kind of bask in just her success before we start talking about football, because I just want to kind of hear what you guys got to say also about the accomplishment of breaking records. We gonna start with you, DMV.
Hey, you might not find a bigger fan of Aisha than me. You know what I'm saying? Seeing her being able to, because actually the first time that we met, it was at the draft last year in Vegas. So, we met a couple of other people. We all met, and we all sat in the room, and when we got Tyler Smith, and all of us was kind of disappointed together. And to full circle a year come around and see that she's breaking records on DallasCowboys.com. You won't find anybody prouder, and even before she started breaking the records, I remember having her on the show with the Giants fan and watching her. I had to pull it back because I knew she was going kind of, chew her up and spit her out. But Aisha is somebody that, I don't have to dial back when I'm talking football. I can really just, Like a lot of times I unpeel the onion to see where people are, and I've never had to do that with her. I can just kind of talk football and, you know, sometimes even run ideas past her as far as like, does this make sense or whatnot. So, like I said, I was the first one to clap, and there's nobody that's prouder for the records that you're breaking.
Yeah. OC, what's your thoughts, big dog?
Yeah, well, you know, this is my first time to really get a chance to do any work with Miss Aisha, and super grateful to do it. I have seen your successes abroad on YouTube, you know, Dallas Cowboys Network, and you know, salute to you. You know, first of all, it is nothing more refreshing and more enjoyable than to watch a football game with a female that actually understands what she's watching. So that's phenomenal. And, you know, you clearly shown you got the dog in you. And, you know, you definitely got that fight in you. And so you can see that just even on first glance. So, you know, congrats, man. Congrats and much continued success, especially, you know, for an African-American woman too, not just a woman, an African-American woman. I want to say that because not a lot of African-American women get the opportunity to step up and to shine and showcase themselves, you know, besides just being eye candy. And so that's really, really refreshing to see. And, you know, great job and keep it up.
Thank you.
And let's keep going because I ain't done. Damn it. And I want to say something about that since you brought up race. I want to talk about that real quick because one of the things that I put in a highlight in her B-roll is men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. Let's be honest on what I was seeing sometimes in the chat when they started girls talk, boys talk. They treated the women. Let's be honest. You ain't got to say nothing, Aisha. I'm going to say it. All right? It was people treating that show like it was a quota show. Like they needed a certain amount of representation of women and blacks to try to fulfill a quota. But the fact that y'all broke records meant that y'all knew ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that I love what y'all doing because it's also breaking down the stigma that only men can talk about ball and really break it down and use their eyes. So again, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. And I want to also highlight this to show that it's not a fluke. It's not even just, before we kind of get into the content and start talking about football, the success of what's going on with Miss Morrison is not just with her show and the ladies show. Brian Broaddus was talking to me behind the scenes last week before we did that show with him, and he said, hey man, I thought I had my favorite team and the best team, and he named all those people. He said this group that I just went with broke records too. And he said one of the main reasons, he told me this behind the scenes. He said it was you. And you a rookie. See, that's what's amazing. You a rookie. you are bland. Like you are the run bland. You came in the game and got 6 interceptions. Do y'all have any thoughts on that real quick? That's what I mean.
Hey, why you call her a rookie like it was training day? Like you a rookie.
Yeah, cause like Bland, she came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
first year player. First year player. And it's like I hadn't seen her before.
And she breaking records out the gate and 2 shows with her work ethic. So it also says to me, like a draft guy, upside. Would you agree to that, DMV?
Yeah, and honestly, what it proves to me, what it proves to me is that it doesn't take journalism degrees to do this. It really just takes passion. And that, if there's one thing that she does have is she has passion for the game. Passion. You know, passion and you care. You know what I'm saying? You'll work on the things that you need to work on. And that's really what DC.com was missing for real. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, talk that talk. All right, we bragged on her enough because she remind me of Law. Like, you know, I gotta brag on Law, but Law don't brag on himself. I gotta brag on Law. You know what I'm saying? All right, but I want to say that. Did you have any other thoughts before we start getting into football?
Nah, man. Thank y'all so much for all the love and support. It means a lot to me. I'm telling you. I see it all. That's why I try to tune into y'all shows. One thing that people always tell me is don't change. Yeah. And that bothers me. It bothers me because it lets me know that people have. And so that's why I'm still like around. I'm not going to change. I still want to be involved as much as I can. Because again, y'all are a big influence as to why I'm here. So thanks to y'all too.
All right, let's get it. Now we go talk about some football because now this is what we here for. Like, but I definitely want to talk about your rise and DMV's rise because both of y'all are doing really, really good, man. Like both of y'all are smoking it, and obviously the whole community love it. All right, so getting into football, we gonna start off with your co-host and your teammate. And we go kind of go around the circle and have this discussion that I'm very curious about. So Haley came out and she came out on fire on one part, and I want to kind of just hear her out, and I want to go around the circle on what she getting ready to talk about, and then we go get heavy into football. So y'all just stay with us. But I want to start off first with what Haley said here, and just go. Here we go.
Is Mike McCarthy a Hall of Fame coach? Like, even if he doesn't want the recognition, if that's not what he wants to be known for, I'm like, is he a Hall of Fame coach? And it's something to kind of keep in mind. But what I will say in this is, I think when you think about a Hall of Fame coach, when you think about, wins and losses, records, all of that, that is important. But I also think the way Mike has had to adapt his coaching style to the positions that he has been in. His first couple of years here, he was adjusting to having Jerry Jones as his boss and having a boss who's so involved in everything. He's adjusting to not being the one who's calling the plays. He's adjusting to an offensive coordinator whose philosophies don't meet with his. And now he's adjusting again to getting back to being the play caller. And all while he's done that, he has maintained the player first mentality. He's maintained that he's got to take care of the guys in the locker room. He's constantly preaching.
Wait.
She was talking that talk, bro.
Boy, she was cooking. Boy, she was cooking.
About, the locker room is their space, and I want them to have that space. And so regardless if Mike McCarthy makes it into the Hall of Fame or not, I know that's a conversation that's like way, way, way down the line. Sure. But just seeing what he has been able to accomplish in his very short time in this locker room, or in this organization, how he's affected the locker room, how he's been able to amicably work with people who, again, maybe he didn't agree with from a football standpoint. All of those things, for him to be kind of the old school, hard-nosed, kind of Pittsburgh, proud, strong guy, and to be making these adjustments like this on the fly, like that is something that needs to be discussed more often.
Yeah.
OC.
Yeah, she was in her bag.
I knew you was gonna start with me. I knew you were gonna start with me on this one.
How did you know? What gave it away, bro?
Man, I just know you, man. It's instinctual, man. It's a gift. You know what I'm saying?
And
I just know
basketball, bro. You know when that bounce pass is coming.
Yeah. Is Mike McCarthy a Hall of Fame coach? Well, let me say this before I answer that question. He's 30-20 with the Cowboys, from 2020 to 2023. He has 17 years of head coaching experience, 157 against 99 losses, I believe. I think that Mike McCarthy is a great coach. I don't see him as a Hall of Fame coach at this point. I think that Mike McCarthy, to elevate to Hall of Fame status, he has to do a little bit more, because the pattern of Hall of Fame coaches goes something like this. You were usually fairly dominant at one organization for a long period of time, winning multiple Super Bowls, or either you had success winning franchise. Now, the good thing for Mike McCarthy is that he's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So the world is his oyster if he's enabled to have the success that he really needs to have here. So if he can lead the silver and blue to a Super Bowl, then that becomes a much more plausible conversation with a Super Bowl win here at the Dallas Cowboys. But right now, I think he's a great coach, but I wouldn't put him in the category of Hall of Fame.
It's on you.
Oh, okay.
When it's wait. When it's on you, I'ma just put the camera on you. I ain't gonna even say nothing.
Okay, because I was like, what's happening?
Hey, producer I didn't tight you up. I'm a trash producer on that. I should have told you that at the beginning.
Come on, Kellen.
Okay.
I'm just
Oh,
joking.
wait. Hey, don't you ever in your life call me Kelly, bro. That's no. You might as well cuss me out. Go ahead, though, Aisha.
No, so I was gonna say I'm not gonna say that I disagreed with the idea that Mike McCarthy is not yet a Hall of Fame coach, but I will say that, you know, going back to some of the things that Haley said, from a real level, Mike McCarthy has come in and really made this locker room something.
Yes.
I granted, like, even if you're only talking about one side of the ball, even if you just want to talk about the defense, like, there is a real culture. I know we use that word, but there's an energy to where even when you guys, I know multiple of you guys, covered the draft, you look at a player and you're like, he fits into the system. There's a system. Like, they have built something. They have built something. These coaches and the connection that these have. Like, one thing I would say about this locker room, they like each other.
Yeah.
Like, they like each other.
Yeah.
And I think that was evident last year as well. And so I am one of those people that thinks that Mike McCarthy doesn't get a lot of the recognition for a lot of the stuff that goes on. And although it's not perfect yet, I mean, just even the way they handle injuries, even the way that they go about things. For the last 2 years, you have been fairly healthy going into the playoffs because of the timeline. It's kind of how he does things. So I do have a lot of respect for Mike McCarthy, especially given just some of the systems and things you guys are aware of. You know, some of the systems and how things were before, how they were in place prior to him being here. I think they are still making steps in the right direction. And like he said, this is the first time they're playing football how they want to. So.
Yeah. So for me, I don't think that he's a Hall of Fame coach yet. I would agree with everything that Aisha said. I would agree with everything OC said. And there's one thing I'm going to add that these guys kind of missed, right? It wasn't something crazy, but if you look at it, Mike McCarthy's in a tier of coaches right now that are right on the cusp of Hall of Fame. Yeah. Guys that have won one championship and, you know, I would say in a historic franchise. So you're looking at Mike Tomlin with Pittsburgh Steelers. You're looking at Sean Payton. Now he's with Denver now, but that championship in New Orleans was monumental for them. And then you look at a guy like Pete Carroll, you know. So I think all of those guys are on the cusp of being Hall of Famers, right? And Andy Reid just won the second one, so I think he solidified his. I think Mike McCarthy's Hall of Fame status really is dependent on where he's able to take this Dallas Cowboys team. Because if he's able to be the first coach ever to win championships in two different places, with him winning a championship in Green Bay and then winning in Dallas, I think he's a shoo-in. But right now, he's right on the cusp. He's a great head coach, like the OC said, but he needs that one thing that's going to separate him from that current tier that he's in.
Yeah, and just to be honest here, I mean, when you really break it down about these Hall of Fame head coaches, they're judged like Hall of Fame quarterbacks. It's the exact same conundrum. You need at least 2 Super Bowls, and you need 8 to 10 successful seasons. That's what you need. If you got that, you getting in and you qualify as a Hall of Fame type coach. Because a lot of these quarterbacks that were solid quarterbacks, right? That, hey, they got to the AFC Championship or NFC Championship, they never won. Or even some of these guys that won. You say, he's really good. He's pretty good, but Hall of Fame is just another level up. Oh, he got 2 Super Bowls. He balled for 8 to 12 seasons or 8 to 10 seasons. He had good numbers. Then yeah, he's Hall of Fame worthy. And so I think that Hall of Fame coaches are judged just like or close to Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I would say with Haley, I think she wasn't really like digging into the Hall of Fame point, because later on she said, and I didn't play that part, but she said that's farther on down the line. What she was more so highlighting was the degree of difficulty and his ability to adapt and maintain the culture at the same time. So when you somebody that know what he went through intimately like us, that's Hall of Fame-ish. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah. That's how, because we went 12-5 with dysfunction. That's amazing. Like like most people who would have had a schism or a divide with their OC would have tanked. They would have been talking in the media. It would have been messy. He was a constant professional through it all. Like, we was picking up on it, but even we was kind of like 95% versus 110% like we are now. So I do agree with you, OC, on this for sure. That if he win in Dallas, he got it. That's what's gonna push him over. That's what's gonna push him over, because to your point, in terms of Hall of Fame, just to talk about it, this is a fun conversation for now before we get into more real football. But he has the winning resume. He have 7 playoff appearances in Green Bay in a row?
Yeah.
One of the best winning coaches in December?
Yeah.
So the only thing that people will probably hold against him would be the fact that he was fired, So when you're fired, that kind of take a dip in your reputation. But he's clearly, in my opinion, on the way up. For sure. So, and I think he in position to do it now. What's your thoughts on that, Aisha?
Well, I mean, even talking about him taking over play calling and some of the things he's going to be doing, I know we're going to get into it, but I kind of wanted to talk about Brian Schottenheimer.
Let's go.
His interview. I asked Dak in his when we were in the scrum, I was like, if you watch Brian Schottenheimer, I know you guys haven't gotten a chance to watch practice, but he is turned to the max. Ooh. I mean, his energy level is so high. He's talking to guys, he's coaching, he's very high energy, and the defense is spoken very highly of him as well. He's very well liked, and I think that matters. And so when I asked that, does that help y'all get ready for practice? And he was like, yeah. He was like, he really, pours into us. But he said something that stuck out to me is that he makes everyone feel included. And I felt like that was important when you start looking at just how some things kind of transitioned last year towards the end of the season. We saw the uses of the tight ends go down, just some of that stuff. I think it's important that we have a coach or a guy that's at least on the offensive side with McCarthy that's working that way and is very well liked through the team as well. But then also too, what did you guys think about the analytics hire they just had from the Colts, John Park?
What do I think of John Parks? I have no idea.
Yeah. What about you, John? I mean, you DMV.
I ain't gonna even fake. I'm like, who?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not familiar with it.
So you have to catch us up. We gonna turn that question right back to you. What do you think?
Oh, okay. No. So, when you start looking at, some of the things with Mike McCarthy, the things that a lot of people don't think he does well. I'm sure you guys have scrutinized the time management and things like that. This gentleman, John Park, that's what he did for the Colts. They actually were one of the first teams to have. He was working with Frank Reich also too. They were one of the first team, the Colts, to have someone come in pregame and basically just run down the analytics of like fourth down. What's the likelihood of this, and breaking things down. I listening around and keeping my ears low to the ground and reading a couple articles. This hire sounds like it could be very helpful for Mike McCarthy as he takes over play calling and, really is engulfed in the game. And so I know, again, that's something that a lot of people question about his coaching, and especially as a head coach, is the time management and some of that stuff and the analytics of let's go for it on fourth down or whatever. It sounds like this gentleman might have may make a difference in this offense and this offense efficiency, because how many times were we sitting there like, all right, the numbers show you shout out to Matt Owen. The numbers show you that these first down runs are not effective. So why are we continuing to do it? Why is it continuing to happen? I'm hoping that with a gentleman like John Park, that he can come in and kind of, steer that boat on what things are good to do in certain situations, and hopefully this offense can click from there.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and I'll jump in real quick on that. I mean, he was the director of football research for the Colts. I think he helps in the sense of understanding the trends and the data. I think that's always helpful, at a 10,000 foot view, right?
Right.
My only not pushback, but just different viewpoint about it is that I think that play calling to a degree is instinctual. And I think that you have to have a feel for the game, and you have to understand the vibe and the tempo of the game. What's happening with your team? What's happening with that team? And have the instincts, but also the mental discipline to make the right call at the right time. So I think it's good from a data dump perspective and from understanding averages and maybe drilling down on what we do well. But my concern is that he came from the Colts, and the Colts ain't been that successful recently. So whatever he did in terms of research there didn't help the Colts. So, so that would be my only thing, right? To say, just to keep it a buck with you. But other than that, the data and the information, all that's great.
I want to add something too, just to the thought, because now that I know what he does, I want to kind of just throw this out here, because obviously when Mike McCarthy is, picking up play calling, your ability to kind of stand up from a higher level and manage the game from a macro level diminishes, right? Because you are getting plays in and out. You trying to make sure you don't have your own tendencies and patterns. Because we got two OCs on. So the OC and DMV are both offensive play callers. So y'all should be able to definitely give some insight on what I'm getting ready to say, because when you are the OC, how do you really quality manage situations without somebody analytical in your ear that's looking at it from just an analytical standpoint? What's y'all thoughts on that? I'm gonna start with you, DMV, and go around the circle.
Yeah, I definitely think that's important. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'm pretty sure the OC is going to say this, self-scouting is very important to having success. I would say when I'm calling the offense, the best weeks to really have are bye weeks, because you get the opportunity to self-scout and see the things that, maybe some of the patterns that you're doing. Going back to the point about adding this gentleman and what the OC said, yeah, feel of the game is very important, and I try and tell people that all of the time. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe some of that friction that Haley talked about with, Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy not really calling plays maybe messed up some of the feel of the game for him. You know what I'm saying? Where, Kellen is doing what he's doing, and there's just something off between the chemistry. And maybe that's where some of the blunders came, because I'll look at Mike McCarthy, and it always seemed like he had a feel of the game in Green Bay to me from the other side. We never had those questions about time management and all of that type of stuff. So it could have also been rust, because I don't see those type of things that happen as much lately. But to kind of close things up, I definitely think that adding this, it doesn't hurt you, but also just realize that feel of the game is the most important.
Gotcha.
No, I definitely agree. And from the little that I read about John is that he actually was on the headset often during games with Frank Reich. And to your point, OC, I understand that the Colts have not been that great the last couple of years, but when they did have Frank Reich, they were pretty okay.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about the talent of the team, and that's sometimes not a reflection of the OC, because Jimmy Johnson said it, man. You win more games with Jimmys and Joes than X's and O's. So I can see it from both sides. You know what I mean?
No, he's right.
Yeah, and I can see it from both sides, to where I'm gonna look at the history of the Colts, but then I would want to go further back to see his overall history, because if we just looked at it from a failure rate, we would have missed on Dan Quinn, right? Because he was fired mid-season, and in the cheap seat, I called him a cheap seat when we first got him. I said, we got a guy at the cheap seats, because he was fired mid-season. But what was his issue? He needed more talent. Atlanta didn't have the talent and couldn't get the talent that Dallas is very good at getting. So what's your thoughts on that, OC? Because obviously we pushing back at you.
Yeah, man. No worries, man.
Well, I'm pushing back at this. Okay, I push back at him.
You're pushing back.
Yeah, and Iisha, it's okay, man. We scrap on this show, man. It's cool. It ain't nothing personal.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, but look, here's the thing. You're wrong, Boss Cowboy.
What?
I'm gonna just tell you wrong.
What?
Because I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. Listen, and you're wrong, boss, and you're gonna learn something right now. because you would not have missed on Dan Quinn if you evaluated him from the strength of his best position, which was defensive coordinator. If you went back to the Seattle Seahawks, see, if you're evaluating him as a head coach, yeah, he failed, right, in that moment. But if you evaluated him for his strength and where he excelled, where did the man excel? That's where you hire people. Where did he excel? He excelled always on the defensive side of the ball as some type of assistant or coordinator. So you would not have missed if you evaluated him like that. Now, two, to the data and the analytics, look, I see it helping out two ways, okay? And, that was just me taking a shot at the Colts, okay? I'm not hating on the hire. I'm saying this. Two things. Having an analytic guy helps tremendously your offensive coordinators with prep. Because on first downs, what formations and what run plays, as an example, were most effective versus the team we're playing next? On third and long, what route combinations or what formations had the highest completion rate? Right? Having that information and having a guy on that, it saves you eons of time, and it puts you in an advantageous situation, to Aisha's point, about being able to get in the right place at the right time. All right. So number two, which is also important, it validates or it unvalidates your ideals about which plays you like to run. Because you may love to throw the ball and go to spread when you're on the goal line and go 4 wide receivers and run option routes when you come back from your end zone, right? You may like to do that, right? Analytics may say the conversion rate is less than 15% when you line up like that on this portion of the football field. And that's invalidating something you like to do. So it's letting you know preemptively, hey, man, you need to change. We need to go ahead and go to double tights. We need to go ahead and run this football because we're going to have a 78% success rate. I'm just making up numbers based upon the analytics. So I think those are the two primary ways that helps you a lot.
I just say this, and we got Big back in the building. Big, when we kick off the next topic, obviously, you the quarterback on that.
I got you.
I'm going to just kind of sum it up like this with this new hire. One thing that I like about Mike McCarthy is he's a common sense coach, period. So, like, one thing that you brought up, Aisha, you brought up the fact, and you said this real quick, people might have missed this. People might have missed how he managed the injuries. See, that's what people missing. That load management. That's where Mike McCarthy is low-key genius. Because, see, we used to all get upset. Why is he putting Diggs on the bench? Why is he managing? He was one of the first coaches to recognize that you got to manage your players different on a 17-game schedule and a 16-game schedule. Like the common sense of Mike McCarthy, I just trust it. So if you hiring this John Parks, I think it's going to be good. Now, let's get into the elephant. Oh, elephant time. And I talked about the elephant that's not in the room. The elephant that is not in the room. So let's start here. Aisha said on her Twitter, Tyler Smith switching back to guard and looking like the pro he is ain't getting enough discussion for me. Well, damn it, Let's start the discussion now.
Y'all, Tyler big, y'all. Like,
Nah.
nah, he's gotten bigger, y'all. You know how they neck
Yeah.
start getting thick?
I said that.
He
Aisha,
dropped the
I
baby
said
fat.
that.
He dropped the baby
His neck
fat.
getting
That's all.
thick. Yeah, he's lean.
He yoked. The
big,
boy yoked.
y'all. And, I kind of talked to a few of the offensive linemen, and they were telling me, because we haven't gotten a lot of information on Mike Solari and how he is, but one thing that, they said that they're really emphasizing is technique. He was like, most of them said that they're emphasizing work and technique more than almost anything else. And I honestly don't disagree with that, because when you look at most of the Cowboys offensive line, they have the feet. It's the hands. It's the hands that have really caused issues with the penalties and stuff like that in the past. So I'm like, all right, well, that's interesting. But Tyler he snapped back in the guard, y'all, and it was like nobody was beating him off the line.
Ooh.
Nobody was beating him. And granted, they're not like contact, but his burst just out of his stance, and you can tell that this gentleman he's just getting it. The game is starting to slow down for him. It's really fun to watch in real time, to be honest, y'all, to just see a young player starting to really get it. And he snapped back in the guard like normal. And I don't think that's normal. And I just don't think that we talk about it enough, how well he can play at those two positions so early in his career.
So let me go here, Dennis, on you, Big. All right.
So I really want to see some continuity from this offensive line. And so my question to you ladies is, where do you see that continuity being? Where do you still see holes where this offensive line should be focusing on during this offseason OTAs? And I know it's a loaded question. That's why I'm asking you guys.
No, it's okay. I wrote down, Lord, who gonna play left guard in my notes. Because listen, I really feel like with Terrence Steele, listening to him, talking to him, not sure, you can't guarantee when he's going to be ready. But if he is not ready, I think that Tyron is going to take on right tackle. Michael Gallup, he mentioned it in an article this week, is that he really does feel as though that would be the move. So then your question is like, so who, if Tyler is your left tackle, because he's been taking, at practice, he took reps there, who's your left guard? And so really for me is looking at the battle at left guard right now. And the coaches seem like they have faith in Chumuyi Doga. However, that is a competition. And Matt Farniok took quite a few snaps at center, but he also took reps at left guard. And haven't gotten to see a whole bunch of Matt Farniok, but the film that I was able to watch from him against Philly a couple years ago and just what he's able to do, he does play with some power. And I feel like this offensive line is going to be, as of right now, there's so many question marks, but it's very contingent on where Terrence is in his recovery and stuff. And I think a lot of what they're doing right now is kind of preventative things and trying to figure out what's going to work if he is not ready to go week one. Yeah.
Big.
Yo.
It's on you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm going to agree with Aisha on that and the ladies, but here's my thing. We were serviceable with Connor McGovern, right? We almost had 2,000-yard backs with Connor McGovern at left guard, correct? And before him, the year before, they were saying, oh, Connor McGovern, he's terrible. Yeah, Connor Williams, right? The offensive line, remember our run game before I think Tyron Smith went down? It was one of the top rushing games in the league with Connor Williams there, and Connor Williams was maligned, correct? He's too light. Connor McGovern, too slow. But you still had top rushing offenses with both of those guys who were quote-unquote average. I get it. But in my opinion, I don't want Tyler Smith going to guard. Just me. I want him to be the all-pro left tackle. I want Terrence Steele to stay at that right tackle. Those are your bookends for the next at least 5 to 6 years for them guys. And I know how Tyler Smith can slide inside. And just how Aisha said, you're not getting enough credit how as a young player that can do that and still be very, very good. You're not just good with it. I mean, you're very good on both positions. But I just think keep him at that left tackle, figure it out at that left guard. You got Chuma, me and DMV. I was like, no, put him at tackle. DMV hit me back like, you talking about you gonna put Chuma there? Hey, work him out. Figure out a guard. You can. You got all those draft picks there from the last couple of years. You got to figure out somebody got to be able to play. So I wish one of those guys would step up to the plate and take that left guard position so you can keep Tyler Smith at that left tackle and let him grow and be great there. Terrence Steele, I get it, but they're talking about Tyron Smith can be that swing, and that's why they did the incentive-laden kind of contract, because they probably knew that Terrence Steele wasn't going to be ready. So go ahead and get this work right quick at right tackle, Tyron. If they don't put him at left, I just don't want them to do that. I want them to keep Tyler Smith there. Tyron Smith play that right tackle a little bit until Terrence Steele come back. You be the swing, and somebody step up and play that left guard, because I believe we'll still be okay at that left guard position. Let that guy grow at that left tackle and be great, just from me.
I'm going to disagree. And the reason I'm going to disagree is Chuma ain't Connor McGovern. And I'll just tell you this about Chuma. And Aisha said what she said about coaches having confidence. I put on Chuma's tape. I promise. I was going to do a breakdown just like I did everybody else. And I said this on the show with Tuck and them the other day. I had to cut it off.
Oh,
that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. I told you that too.
But DMV though, I ain't talking just about Chuma. They got like 3 other guys. They
got Farniak. They got Farniak. For me, I feel like try as many combinations as you can, right? The only way to really understand, or the only way to really know, is if you play football. Now, if they're going by the best 5 theory, Tyler has to kick inside and get reps there as well. He has to get reps in both places. And I think that one of you guys, I think the OC is big on cross training. And I think that the biggest mistake we made last year was not getting Tyler reps at the left tackle.
But what if somebody gets hurt, DMV? You talking about the best 5? You put the best 5 out there, and somebody gets hurt. Then what?
No.
Hey, look, but here's the thing, though.
Y'all agreeing, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Y'all on the same page
and
on this
even
point.
if that happens, though, right? Like, people get hurt. It is what it is. You have to have contingency plans. And that's why I'm saying try as many combinations, and whatever combination works the best, that's what you go with. You know what I'm saying? But if we're going off of on paper, it says kicking him into guard gives us the best chance to win. Now, sure, Tyron could get hurt. Tyler could get hurt. Biadasz could get hurt. Any of those guys can get hurt. So at this point, man, you know, you can't build the team being scary. If they didn't feel like guard was important enough in the draft, then this is the plan going forward. So I think we got to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't got to be okay with it, but I'm just saying that's the plan going forward. We all screamed guard. We all screamed get a tackle. Matter of fact, we were saying get a tackle. And, you know, Dallas decided to do what they wanted to do. They like, well, let's go. They like a couple of these guys on this. Let's put it this way: I can't wait to see what camp brings. But on paper, moving them in the guard isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Knock it out.
Yeah, OC, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, and so, you know, well, I may have to jump after this, boss. So if I just happen to disappear, you know, much respect to you guys, and I'm sure you guys will land this plane strong. I think that at the end of the day, Tyler Smith started every game at the left tackle position, and he played very well. I don't know of a rookie in recent history across the league that played better than him at the left tackle position. Does he have the ability to play guard? He absolutely does. I think he's so talented, he could be a Pro Bowler at either position. But a very, very important question needs to be answered. If you move him into left guard, who then do you trust enough to put out there at the left tackle position? With Terrence Steele not being ready to play by all indications by the beginning of this year, and if he is, it's because they rushed him back. All right, so I'll go on record of saying that. He's less than roughly 8 months off a torn ACL, so he's going to need some time. So in interest of the team, I think the best thing to do is to leave Tyler at left tackle. You have the cat with 9 lives, Josh Ball, who they tried a left tackle, right tackle. Now they go give him a chance to play guard because he's been a good run blocker, and that's true. On film, he's been a good run blocker. Then you have Matt Farniak, right? And I think that if you go back and you look at our channel in particular, I did a breakdown on the secret sauce about left guard, and I talked about the RAS score, and I talked about how Matt Farniak and how he played. He had the highest athletic RAS score coming out when he came out of Nebraska. He has a combination of power and quickness. I think that if it's fair competition, I would say that Matt Farniak, wins that left guard position. I think he's scrappy. I think he's versatile. I think that he is solid enough to actually get the job done. If it's a political environment, then maybe Josh Ball would get it, but I don't think he lasts because he's not good at pass pro. I think that Matt gives you the perfect combination of a guy that can get movement and a guy that's solid enough in pass pro to hold up. That would be my contention. We talked to Michael Gelkin yesterday, and we pretty much concluded from comments like Terrence Steele is not going to guard.
No.
He's rehabbing to play right tackle, right? So that's not a possibility. Yeah. And as far as Chuma, we've done, and I'm wrapping this up. Excuse me for being long-winded, but here's the thing: if you look at Chuma is break upon emergency. Like, that's the kind of player he is, right? He's a break upon emergency. He's a backup player. And we did a film breakdown on the guard on him. We didn't finish the series yet. We got one more person to do, which is Matt. But if you go back and you look at that, we did an extensive breakdown on Chuma and his abilities, his strengths, and his weaknesses. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Well, cross-training is the new norm. That's what it is. And the Cowboys have learned their lessons. Shout out to J Tuck, man. J Tuck in the building, man. Always good to see you, big bro. But
salute, Jay.
But cross training is the new norm, and it's very smart. It's very smart. It's something that we have been preaching on the final word for at least 2 years. Like, because it's a lot of people that believe in a philosophy of let them stay at one position, don't play music or chairs. Listen. That's what put Tyler Smith in the awkward position last year. That's what put him in the awkward position. When we was trying to make him stay at guard, he was then forced on his own out there at left tackle. Mike McCarthy has learned his lesson.
Yep.
Now what they doing, which I love, they have embraced cross-training. From the beginning. Like last year, they did not. And we paid for it. And it's so many games to where cross-training Peters, cross-training Tyler helped you. And I really do believe this. And then I'm going to show you a highlight because you talked about this, Ms. Morrison. The cross-training being the new normal. I think the key to the whole thing is Tyler Smith's flexibility. I think that's the key to the whole thing. Him being truly a left side player. That's the key. Because then if you start, let's say, for instance, Tyron Smith at left tackle and he get hurt, because you've been cross-training Tyler Smith, then you just move Tyler Smith out to that left tackle, and then you move up the best available left guard who earned it through training camp and those preseason competitions. So the flexibility of Tyler Smith is the key. So I just wanted to play this cross-training clip, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, that was stressful watching, and it was interesting because I did talk to Tyler Biadasz a lot. I talked to him in the locker room after OTAs, and then I spent media day with him where we had a bit of a wait, so I probably was with him for an hour, if not a little bit longer than that. So we had nothing but time to talk about things, and so I asked him, I said, does this make you nervous? The fact that, nothing is really set in stone. You don't have your staple guys in every set position of this O-line. And he said, no, because what we do get is we get this shuffle, and I'm able to learn how to communicate and have that cadence with every single person, no matter who it is, because it really starts from him and then it works its way out for the communication factor of it. So he said, I'm not worried about the communication, and if I feel like there's a little bit of a drop off of communication with somebody, I make sure to go work with them individually one-on-one to figure out what the issue is. So that was reassuring to hear that Tyler Biadasz can kind of make it work with whoever, but that was what I saw. So
Yoga.
yeah,
I wonder if
Take that
that's
for
the new
granted.
thing,
Clay.
though. Like you mentioned, Haley. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was done.
But you mentioned continuity, and that's something that through the NFL we always hang our hat on as far as offensive line. You want continuity. But with it being 17 games in a season now,
Yeah.
it feels as though this coaching staff is preparing for those scenarios because we've seen in the last couple of years, specifically with this
There you
team,
go.
is that injuries happen. Injuries happen, and you have to learn on the fly. And them kind of being preventative about that and seeing what they have in these guys right now is what's happening. And so I want that, to your point, I wonder if that is going to be, if this is kind of the new standard, is like, yes, you want continuity, you want the best five and everything, but is it likely that best five is going to finish out the whole 17 game season?
Right.
Nope.
Let's prepare for the worst, I
Facts.
guess, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so we
Yep,
got to kick it
that's what
back
I
off
just
with
said.
you, Miss Morrison. Can you even elaborate that on that?
Man, actually, it was super dope. I asked Mike McCarthy that in the press conference, and he basically was like, I would have thought you were in our meeting, our team meeting, because it's, from what I've seen, it's been a mixture of guys. I'm so glad that y'all named like Matt Wollescote, Matt Farniok. That's a competition. Like, that's a real competition. I do think that Matt Farniok, at the beginning of camp, like, I saw a lot of him, but towards that end, y'all, Matt Wollescote was doing his thing, and
Wait!
also a player. to keep
Hold
your eye
on, we gotta pause because see that's breaking. Wait.
No, I think
By the way, I already knew that. I just let her break it.
Okay, my bad. Keep talking.
no. Let me temper, because one thing I was looking at for Matt Wollescote, and I'm sure OC was looking at it too. When you talk about a guy having a shoulder surgery and things like that, I'm really looking for, is he afraid to even, they're not in pads, they can't,
Yeah.
But I'm even looking just to see if he's cool with extending. How much power can I see his force? Because you can. I don't care. I know people be like, it's no pads. You can tell when a guy is really fully into it. And I remember catching him in the locker room, and I was like, dude, you good? And he was like, I'm tired, bro. Like, because he's getting a lot of snaps. He's really working that swing. So when you start talking about that right tackle position, in my past video, I said, I think that Tyron might be the guy, to start the season at right tackle. I would really be looking at Matt Wollescote. I want to see how he is in pads, how he responds and stuff. But I really want to. People had to, don't get it twisted. We had a lot of faith in this guy. I looked at some of his draft film. I thought he was pretty good.
This is
so
interesting.
I was looking at him like, I'm really paying attention to him as far as being that real swing. And TJ Bass is a guy that I think, if he keeps working, could be somebody that we're like, you know what? He might be able to man that guard. I don't know if y'all checked out Cody Malk, but he got some of that Cody Malk.
This is
vibe.
Yeah.
This is
And
Yeah.
Coach McCarthy mentioned, I've asked about him, and he said he's a natural, and he's fearless. It's to some degree. He basically said, like, he doesn't back down. He's not afraid, and you can see that in his play. And they moved him around. Like, he was at guard, he was at right guard, he was at center, and I think that's important because Zach Martin is the guy that's getting up there. So let's just see. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that he's just going crazy.
No.
Notice how it's hard not to notice how natural he looks. So did they might, hey, listen, we're still watching, but they might have kind of addressed offensive line in some ways. It's just maybe not the same way we thought it was going to be.
Wow. Wait. I do get animated, so.
I know you guys.
All right, cool. I just get excited because you saying stuff nobody heard, right? That's why I'm so happy you in the building, just because the OC did do a great breakdown on Farniok, right?
Yeah.
So from your eyes, and I watch a draft show, and I could tell you have good eyes and you trust your eyes. Obviously, not the pass not on, so you gave us the disclaimer. But based on the athleticism and hand placement on a limited basis, because obviously it wasn't truly physical, your eye is saying that you saw more pop subtly, even just for right now, from Matt Wollescote. Am I hearing you right?
Yeah, I think he was very confident. He's very confident in how well his rehab went, and I just want to see him. If you looked at him, if I'm OC, I know you probably did. If you looked at him, DMV, you know he had the feet. But I was nervous about,
for sure.
Is he gonna be afraid to punch? Is he gonna be afraid to even? I'm looking at how tense his shoulders are. I'm just trying to see if he looks natural, and he at least has that. And I think that's a big step. That's a big step, because if he turns out to be a legit swing, I'm gonna feel a lot better about this.
She hyping me up. Don't be
playing
with me. Don't play
you
with
know,
me.
You know what? I'm gonna tell on Aisha. You know what I got. See, her background gives her an advantage and gives her better eyes on the football field. No, it's not even Oak. It's not just Oak Cliff.
Yes, it
no,
is.
no, everything in Oak Cliff. Shut up. Everything in Oak Cliff. Listen, boss. Hold on, boss.
Kick you in your stomach if you ever tell me to shut up.
Hey, boss. Look, boss. Pardon me, sir. Please listen so you can understand context.
All right, cool.
Respectfully. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, sir. I'm saying the background about the military background. She mentioned tense and shoulders, right? Those are body cues. This woman is used to looking at body cues and stuff like that. That's a military background. That's training. That's personal security stuff. That's know if I gotta kill you and if I gotta pull this gat real quick and pop. You know what I mean? Like that's where that's coming from.
She got good eyes, man.
She got a tactical advantage. She got a tactical. No, real talk. No, and I'm excited too. She has a tactical advantage, right? A tactical advantage. And I'm going to kick it to you in a second, boss. Look, Matt Wollescote is a guy that's always had good feet, even going back to his college tape, right? It just is about his power, right? Can this dude play with NFL strength? And if you're telling me he has indication of NFL level strength and he can hold up, then, man, I'm excited to hear now. I'm trusting what you're saying, but I definitely got to verify when this guy gets the pads on. I got to verify, because sometimes, and I trust your eyes based upon me just doing the show with you and hearing some of your commentary. But some guys, they look like Tarzan and then end up playing like Jane when she gets the pass on. But I just want to see him prove out a little bit when we get the pads on. And then I'm good to go, because if he's really ready to go, really ready to go and contribute, then that changes everything.
Yeah, I wanted to add, like, a lot of guys that aren't super duper powerful, I've learned even from the tackle position, they know how to use their length. And I think that he's getting a better feel for how to use his long arms and keep people at bay, but his feet allow him to cheat a little bit. So I want to see how he can improve there, because you'll catch him cheating because he knows his feet can get to the spot without being the initiator. So again, to your point, OC, I'm looking at that's what I'm going to be really paying attention to him, because if he does have that power, I think he could really solidify that swing tackle spot, and that would be a really good step in the right direction. So,
and I'm gonna speak for Oak Cliff. It is Oak Cliff why she has good eyes.
I ain't gonna come back to Oak Cliff again.
It is.
Oak Cliff again. Hey, I love Oak Cliff. I love Oak Cliff. Especially the food.
I got you.
Especially the food I eat.
One of the skills
so I have a question.
I got you, DMV, I promise. One of the skills you gotta have from Oak Cliff, you gotta be able to peep game. Period.
Okay.
Did I lie, Aisha? Did I lie? You can't be from Oak Cliff unless you are good at peeping. That's part of the community. When you go to the grocery store, I'm dead serious. All right, but let me go to Big Game James, because my boy been sitting in the back. I got you. What you got, Big?
What you got, Big?
I mean, I already told you, but I told you. Well, let's go. You got all those draft picks in there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So just like DMV said, just like Aisha said, work these combinations. Why did you pick these guys up? You picked up Josh Ball. You got Farinock. I keep messing his name up. Please, Lord, forgive me. You got Wollescote. Yeah, Farniak. There we go. I'm going to get it right one day.
You got it.
But you drafted these players, right? why did you draft him and you ain't never getting them on the field? That's the point.
Yeah.
You got to get these guys on the field. And OC said it, and I'm staying with it. I know you can. It's great for the cross training where you can slide a Tyler Smith inside, but Tyler Smith is going to be an all-pro left tackle, in my opinion. You keep him there, much like Tyron Smith was when he came in. He had his struggles his first year, and then bam, you saw his second years after that. He was just an animal. That's what I feel like Tyler Smith is going to take that type of jump this season. We saw those big flashes last year. He's going to take a tremendous leap, and we're going to be like, dang, Tyler Smith is all that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Well said.
You know what? They were very high on Matt Wollescote when he came out last year, right? They were high on him. Then he had the injury. So they're already going to give him every opportunity. And just like Aisha said, he's stepping up to the plate. Let's see. Because if he can come in, I would feel a lot better if he can come in and wrestle that right tackle position away as the swing right now and let Tyron chill. I know we love Tyron, and Tyron's still very good. But we know Tyron's going to get injured. Okay, we know it. We don't know when, but it's going to happen. He ain't finished a full season since, 2016? So let this young buck get this work, get real good, and I don't think it's going to be a big deal. He's got to go back to the bench when Terrence Steele comes back in. So I'm all for Matt Wollescote stepping up because we need the more offensive linemen that are good for us, the better our offense is. So if anybody goes down, you don't miss a beat. You don't be like, oh, Lord, Tyler Smith just got hurt. It's over. That's not what we're going to feel when these guys are doing these valuable reps and stepping their game up. So we want all these young players to be good. And I think Coach Marvin said it, last week. Where are you going to have 5 All-Pros on the offensive line? That don't happen. You usually got a couple and everybody else is pretty good. That can be the same case here. We don't need everybody to be an All-Pro. We need to be serviceable and be able to handle the pressure when they come in or when they're starting.
One thing I will say about Tyler, though, I'm sorry, before you go DMV, and this is one thing that I had to check myself also too, analyzing and talking about where I feel like he should play. He has a say-so. He has a say-so. He's his own man, and I want y'all to know that, Tyler is a gentle giant, but one of his greatest qualities is that he's not afraid to take on the challenge, and he enjoys it. He welcomes it. And so talking to him, I asked him, does this freak you out? Does this, is it? And he's like, nah, man, I love it. He loves the fact that he can go snap. It's a flex. And not only that, he really enjoys, I know that he enjoys helping the team get better. So whereas I hear everybody's thoughts on him being at left guard and wanting him to stay at tackle, we think we know what's best for him, but only he says what's best for him. And if he's okay with moving and going to different spots and working on his versatility, who are we to say? So that's why I'm just very careful with how I handle the conversation with him, because he's his own person.
I love it.
Yeah.
Damn, that was, man.
I know. It almost make me not want to ask a question. I'm gonna ask it anyway.
I need that damn butt. Go ahead, BMG.
Yeah. Thank you, Aisha, for pretty much lighting up the scoreboard here. I just want to say that first and foremost. Second, though, I want to add some context to what I'm gonna say first, because last year the Cowboys drafted Tyler to be guard, and they were gonna give Wollescote the shot at tackle before him. So, knowing what you guys know now, because these are questions that I'm always asking. Knowing what you know now about Wollescote and the possibility of him coming in and being ready and being more than serviceable, does this change how you view things? Knowing that he was drafted to be the left tackle and Tyler was going to be a guard.
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna fall off. So I always said that Tyler Smith was a tackle coming to this league, but he definitely could play guard. I saw the explosion, I saw the pop, I saw the raw ability, even at Tulsa, when everybody else was mad and losing their mind when we drafted him, right? So here's the deal. I think that you have Matt Wollescote as a guy that was drafted and now was a favorite of Stephen Jones. And I think that he will be a developmental left tackle. Even if you put him at left tackle now, he's a developmental piece. I don't think he comes in, he lights it up, and I don't think he would do as well as a Tyler Smith did, because he doesn't have the strength. And although he has good feet, he doesn't have the suddenness and explosion of a Tyler Smith. And you need that when you're on the open end, backside, playing left tackle. Now, I think that he'll be fine. If he's healthy, he'll be serviceable and fine playing right tackle. I can see that. So it really doesn't change my stance. I think that Matt Wollescote is several levels below a Tyler Smith. So that's my take.
Yeah, right tackle is definitely his comfort spot. You can see that immediately. Like that, he's far more comfortable getting out of his stance. He's faster, and it's faster for him at right tackle. I agree with you, OC.
All right, so while we got Aisha here, and hopefully we have OC a little while longer.
I'm gonna make it as long as I can.
Hopefully it can be like a Colombo or what was Doug Free.
Doug Free.
Without the
Doug
tackle.
Free.
Doug Free.
I don't like it, OC. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's dark over there.
So y'all.
I know it is, man. I couldn't make it to the studio. I'm doing this from the car.
Yeah, but we flexible. We make it work. We flexible. We got you. So,
but I'm gonna connect with you after this though, Miss Aisha, so we can talk some more ball for sure.
So check this out. So since we have Aisha here, we get to use your eyes because you teased us. All right, you did a nice tease. So let's get into your tease right here.
He's like baby Osa, because Osa to me is like prototypical. Like when I think of a football player, I think of Osa Odigizua, just big shoulders, strong legs, like just solid. Yeah. And Tyler Smith is on his way to that. But Sam as well. His arms were a lot stronger.
See, this is the benefit of having an insider. Because, see, they seeing them around the building. They seeing their bodies changing. They seeing who consistently in the building. It's a lot of things she sees that we don't see. So they having a real conversation about body changes.
Lost a little bit of the baby weight in his face. So we're looking good, guys.
Yeah, that's something that I really noticed from the guys being in the locker room. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That's kind of from the draft and just kind of how I look at players is how lean they are, and so I really wanted to ask the guys, like, what did you do in the off season to take care of your body? How are you eating? You weren't just eating Doritos, right? Like, what was you doing?
You don't have to call me out, Aisha.
I was like, I had Doritos yesterday. What about it?
I was talking to them, and it was so dope just to hear how many of the guys had certain regiments they really followed and they were strict to. Like you said, some guys have leaned out, some guys have put on muscle that is needed, and it was just I saw Tyler Biadasz too, and I was like, look at you in your grown man body, like because you can tell that, because it does. It takes.
We want to hear more.
It takes time to develop into that body. Everybody don't come in here like Mozzie. Everybody don't come in here.
So while you taking notes, I need you to take notes on who from your eyes have taken the best body changes, because none of us know that but you. See, because one of the things that OC and I have been talking about when we've been talking about left guard, then we will go around and hear from everybody after you talk, is that we can't see. We can't see who's getting bigger. We can't see, right? So who in the building, just raw, that you seeing, just from your judgment, your eyes, your Oak Cliff eyes, your military eyes, whoever you want to give credit to, whoever you want to give credit to, who is standing out? So I heard you say Tyler Biadasz. You talked about Ferguson. I'm gonna play that clip in a minute. I'm excited about what y'all talked about with Ferguson. I'm so excited about that. But so let's go around the circle with that, starting with you.
Crazy enough, y'all, Jalen Tolbert is lean, man. Like, I was not prepared. He did take a step up. You can see he has a little bit more muscle to him, but he just looks. Maybe it is because he is walking with a lot more confidence about him. But his body, it's changed. It's changed. And he posted on his Instagram today that he was working with Dak. Like, you can see his body changing, kind of like CD. Even his second year, he was like, "Oh, look at your shoulder pads. They fit a little differently." You know, like so. Jason Colbert's the guy. Yeah, he hasn't gotten talked about a whole bunch about as far as his body, but you can tell he did do some things differently this offseason to put on some weight.
Anybody else? I'm being greedy.
Let me think.
That stood out.
Honestly,
Popped.
bro.
Like popped.
I know one. Aisha, can I ask you one?
Yeah.
What Michael Gallup look like?
Oh, Michael Gallup looked crazy, yo. Like, Michael Gallup looked like he. What year was like Dez's prime? Like, he
wait,
like, oh, his body look. No, I'm telling you, you can see he looks like Michael Gallup. Again, no pads, no whatever, but he got that to him right now.
Yeah,
I'm serious, y'all. He got points to prove. Young MG, he looks good. Michael Gallup definitely took his offseason seriously. I'm sorry, I don't want to take y'all's because I know everybody. But MG, MG, believe the hype. Believe the hype about MG looking like MG again, because he do.
He back.
Y'all. I'm serious.
He bike.
Yeah.
So based on what you
BYKE.
Based on what you saying, and then I'm gonna get just a couple of more points in here, and we'll get out. It looked like, and I'm listening to you, it looked like the receiver room the most slept on room.
Yo, that receiver room, watching Brandon Cooks in real time, y'all. I know we talk about it, like we see him on film. I don't know if y'all gotten a chance to watch him, but I haven't gotten the pleasure to watch a receiver that just knows where to be, understands the splits, the hashes to the T, to where he like naturally comes out of his break. I just never seen anything like it. It's really beauty in motion watching him be a receiver. Like it really is. The route running is there. He's speedy, but he's so connected. Like you can tell when they have scramble drills, he knows where to sit. He knows where to come back to Dak. And I just think that every quarterback needs that. That's the dude. CeeDee Lamb also looks like CD, but Brandon Cooks, people are gonna be freaking out at the fact that their two corners gonna get cooked. I mean, all day. All day.
Wait.
And if you want to roll coverage over, if these guys can stay healthy, it's gonna be a problem.
Ooh.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks, dude.
Wow. Big.
Yeah, the receiver core is exciting. It's exciting. It's exciting for me. After seeing MG, I was like, oh, okay, guys.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
Big, what you got, man? And then I got another video for.
All right, now are we asking about body types, or who do we think is really going to turn up this year?
Just whatever you want.
Well, I'm going to get a question out for Coach Mark because he just hit me with it. And I'm going to ask you, Aisha, because we were hearing some good things about Jabril Cox. I think it was maybe a few, last week when they said he had like a pass breakup, and then he had a pass breakup to kind of end the scrimmage they kind of wanted because he stopped the plays. And a lot of people have been asking about him. And even Brian Biadasz was on the show talking about the reason why he wasn't playing because he just wasn't getting it. And then the injury. Can you kind of tell me, tell us, what's really going on with Jabril Cox? Honestly, is this going to be the year? Because this is year 3. This is an important year. Are we going to see some real Jabril Cox?
Yeah. So he's another guy that I asked about, like his body and kind of what he was doing. And something that kind of gets slept on that we haven't really talked about is that, Edwards isn't here anymore. George Edwards isn't here.
Yeah.
So it seems like things are starting to, things are kind of starting to slow down for him. He's starting to have a better understanding. That's why he's able to make these breaks on balls and things like that. He's another guy that I'm like, let's see him when the pads come on, let's see how he plays. But I do want him to build upon that confidence. So like the confidence of trusting his knee, because I think something that Brian said is that they were worried about if he was nervous about his injury. I mean, coming off the ACL or whatever. So for Jabril, I just want him to build upon the confidence that he has and see what happens. Now that 33 look like that.
Oh
that
yeah,
clock
yeah.
is
He
slowed
that
down
guy.
for him, too. Yeah,
But you know what?
Damone Clark, and even I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean I ain't
No. Go ahead.
Listen.
Yeah, but even with Leighton Vander Esch, we talked about it on Girls Talk Boys Talk. He mentioned his shoulder pads don't fit the same anymore. He's leaned out some for that mic spot, and it's interesting because when you look at the mic, a lot of mics are becoming this tweener type situation. So when you start talking about guys' bodies and stuff, Leighton Vander Esch and Damone Clark, they seem like they've been inseparable this offseason. That 33 is going to make it really hard for anybody to come up and take a spot, barring injury. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to take another step in the right direction.
Nice. I like hearing that.
Yeah.
DMV, did you have anything on this topic? Because I definitely got something on Jabril. I just want to make sure you get
actually, Coach Marv, actually, thank you for the super chat or whatnot. He said, is Cox going to be the big nickel? Do you see him being the big nickel in this scheme with how things are playing out? Or being big nickel? Or
Well, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say,
let me jump in on that too, because that's exactly what I was
the jury. Say. What I heard Aisha say, let me just say this right quick. What I heard Aisha say is the jury's still out on him. The jury's still out on KJ. So we want good things.
I love big games, dog.
This is what I hear. We want good things. I don't know. You were saying that with Kelvin Joseph though. You want to see more, right? We was feeling good about him, but you said. Yeah, you said you want to see more. You're saying the same thing about Jabril Cox. We're hoping, but we want to see more. So to me, that's like the jury is still out.
So let me say this real quick to Coach Marv's point, because that's what I was going to talk about. So we going to put these questions together. Because I said Jabril Cox would be an excellent big nickel / safety for the Dallas Cowboys. If you got it, you just got it. And the reason why I said that is because Isaiah Simmons, who was also a linebacker / safety / so freakish you can put him anywhere type dude. They are now officially moving him from linebacker and making him a DB. But Aisha, I want to run this by you based on what you're seeing and Coach Marv's point. Do you see any signs of them being open to big nickel safety roles, a curse role? You know, because maybe linebacker might not be that fit for him. And I did talk to Jabril, and he told me I would want to play the big nickel because that's where he got a majority of his reps at LSU. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's really solely up to him. Like, I know that sounds real corny or whatever, but the ball is really in his court to go do his thing and to show what he's capable of. He's going to get the opportunities because it's not, you got to think, it's not that many. What's the linebacker depth chart?
Yeah.
Besides Micah, I mean, if Micah's still considered a linebacker, you have two linebackers that you're sure about. So I think he's going to get the opportunity to play and to show what he's capable of, especially in preseason and stuff like that. Something that does get slept on, though, is that you lost Luke Gifford on special teams.
Special teams.
Yeah. And I think if he's going to start anywhere, I think it's going to be there. I think he's going to have a role there to start. And maybe they use him on a couple packages. I will say when he was running in practice, I think they were in the big nickel when he made the plays that he made on the ball. I mean, that's our base though. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
I've been praying for that since he got here. Because I always felt like
you got to be confident to play that position too. And so it's just getting him married with the playbook and being comfortable doing what he's doing. But from talking to him, it's coming along for him, it sounds like.
So I have a question now. With that being said, does that mean that, you know, because I know that Kelvin kind of moved in to be a little bit of a nickel. Yeah. So does that mean they're in competition with each other?
Good question. Damn good question.
I don't think they're in competition with each other.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That just means for a roster spot. Yeah. Not like, hey, like apples for apples, but it's like for a roster spot, like could you see like them being, all right, well, we got Jabril or we got, you know, him, because they both play special. So it was just a question, you know?
Oh yeah, I think that's a possibility. I think that's a possibility that there could be decisions, but I think that they do have some, they're trying to have some faith in Jabril and giving him his shot. give him his chance to show what he can do. Like, in fairness, we're giving you your chance, of course.
Gotcha. So it was something else that you talked about on the show that I want to kind of get into with everybody. Here we go.
A lot of fun stuff there. Anything else that stood out to you guys?
I wanted to add on to what you said about purpose, because I'm so glad you brought it up, because it slipped my mind, because it stood out to both of us when we kept hearing it. Yeah. I think that that's also important. It's so funny because when you're a kid, your parents tell you, like, you're not supposed to ask why. Yeah. Like, when they tell you to do something, you're supposed to just do it. Yeah. But if you're really trying to come together as a team, make guys better, the understanding of why are we running this play right now to counter what the defense is doing? Why is this the game plan? Why are we throwing out these packages instead of these packages? We might see guys offensively in a one game that we might not see in the next game, and on the defense as well. I think that's very healthy communication for a team to build, to build confidence. And that's another thing too. They're confident. You can feel the confidence, and I think that's because they know why they're doing what they're doing, the reasons why they're running certain plays and these installations and stuff. So I'm so glad you brought that up. I wanted to just add that. I feel like that's important for this team's growth as well. Yeah.
Do you have anything on that DMV to ask Aisha? Talking about what she was talking about, understanding the why and why it's making them play faster.
I have a question, but I don't want to. We said no bursting the bubble. We said no.
Don't do it, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know it's timid. No. Don't do it. All right. I'm glad you held it. See, you a good coach. Because he felt the temptation. Big. You got something on that? Because I thought that was deep. Just how she was really breaking down that, and that's what Toba talked about on that interview with West Coast Henny and Landlord. They talked about this. You want to go and get that in, man? No, I ain't gonna let you. Nope. Go ahead, Big.
I'm with DMV.
All right. Everybody know what it is, bro. It's unspoken.
Yeah. We all on the same page. I agree. I see where y'all going too. I get it. All right. So check this out. So I just asked the question a different way. Like, so, yeah, I go ahead and do it, but I say it like this. Yeah, dog. We look it out. It's love. It's trust me. It's love. It's love. So you Jackie Robinson. We gotta take care of you, man. Straight up.
We gotta take care of you, Jackie Robinson, man.
We can't just put you out there. You know what I mean? So sometimes we gotta hold it. We gotta hold it. No, but I just, from a positive standpoint, I love how you was breaking down how everybody's playing fast. I just want to hear you kind of elaborate on that and kind of seeing that difference in speed. Cause you actually said it. I'm gonna play that clip and I want you to elaborate. Here it is.
Ed, what did you see at practice? Aisha, I'll go to you first. That maybe stood out to you.
Oh, you already said that, team speed. I want you to elaborate on that.
Oh yeah.
The offensive speed. Because you said that was the number one thing that stood out to you.
Oh yeah. Now, granted, like, I had to figure out, because during drills, of course, there's like that urgency, but when you watch them on like 7-on-7 and some of the things they were doing, I was like, oh, they're getting into stuff fast. And another thing I noticed is, like, it sounds like it's gonna be things are simple or a lot more simplified, especially quarterback. And so when I was sitting there watching, I'm looking at Dak, I'm looking at him have 1, 2, 3, it's out. Like why y'all laughing so hard?
I go ahead and say it because I said I be the bad guy because I can't stand Kelvin. I can't stand. I know what they want to talk about, but we ain't gonna eat. I said I can't stand him. So we don't even want to get.
Yeah, of course it look fast. Of course it look fast. We ain't running 4 curl routes no more.
Y'all are going.
That's why we laugh. So
I can't laugh.
no, we don't even want to hear your response on that. We're cool. We got our opinion. I got mine. I'm
Your
keep
voice
it to myself.
fluctuations, please.
Yeah, no. I ain't saying nothing about that. But getting into did y'all have any other questions outside of that, guys?
I got one if I can get that off.
Absolutely.
This is about, I don't know how deep you are, Aisha, with the contracts. You know, and they're talking about, people getting signed. You got Dak, you got Micah, you got CeeDee, and you got Diggs, right? Diggs is obviously kind of right there in your face. I said he could possibly get left out because he's going to command some money, at the cornerback position. What's your kind of thoughts with Diggs' situation, and do you think he's going to be a long-term guy?
Good question.
Let me think before I answer, because I want to make sure. Now, with Diggs, I feel like he's one of those players that they would prioritize signing, just given the history of some of the other guys they prioritize.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about a lot of the defensive players, and this is just me speaking from feeling like I see the connection they have. I think what happens with Dan Quinn is going to be whatever he decides to continue doing, whether it's to stay, whether it's to go. I think that may change some of things, because I feel like it's hard not to want to follow him if he leaves or if something, were to transpire. So I don't know. He kind of took what he's done with for this defense. Like, some of these players probably feel like he has changed their career. I mean, when you talk about a J-Ron Curse, we didn't know anything about him really until he came here. And I feel like between him and Joe Witt Jr., they've really turned the tide on that side of the ball. When you start talking about contracts for them, I think some of that is in the conversation, or might be in the conversation, I assume.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got one more that I got to get to, and then we go get into our final words.
And you saw even Sean getting a lot of good reps as well. So what I really like too is it seems like they're really focused on not only, blocking, like you said, but the reps that I did see, you saw Jake Ferguson making some good plays. He was springy. He was ready. He was ready to go.
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned him as well.
He looks so good.
Because that, you can see in his movement, I think tight end is such a refined position. You can be an athlete and everything, but it takes time to understand, like, the body of a tight end, the way that they play angles. And he seems like he's getting it.
Yeah.
And watching him, he seems more free in his play. You can tell. Yep. So, and I saw that he got invited to Travis Kelce's camp and stuff. And these are all things that are going to help him be better. But you can tell he's put in work in the offseason. You can tell he's put in work, playbook, and also taking care of his body.
Yeah. And you heard it here.
Whoa. Because we got to talk about that real quick. See, because Brian Broaddus, when he came on, he said that the people in the building are liking Hendershot. Y'all lit up for Ferguson.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to choose, but I just want to hear more about what's going on in the tight end room.
Yeah, so with Ferg, like I was saying, you can tell that he's separating himself as that number one guy. You can tell that the maturity is there also, where he's knowing what he has to come into. As far as Peyton Hendershot, I think that he needs to continue to take advantage of his opportunities. If Brian says it, then maybe that's what it is. But Peyton has been getting reps with the twos and stuff like that, less than the ones. Yeah. So I don't see that kind of reflected in what's happening right now.
Right.
But
and it could be early. The reason why I asked you that, because it was how y'all lit up. Oh, I pulled the wrong B-roll. It's how y'all lit up when y'all was talking about Ferguson. Y'all all
Oh
lit
yeah,
up.
no, you can see it. No, you
Yeah.
can. His athleticism is something that you can actually start to see in real time. And some of the catches he made, it was like, okay, that I don't know if every tight end can make this catch. So I think that he's taking a step in the right direction as far as just turning into that number one tight end. It is a lot of responsibility that he's taking on, but I think Lunda Wells doesn't get enough credit for what he does.
He doesn't.
And I think he'll have those guys ready to go. But Sean McCune and Peyton Hendershot. Peyton's done some work he did some work with the ones, and he had a couple of good grabs there, but he's done predominantly a lot of his work with the twos. So we'll see.
So me getting into the final word, I'll start it off. First of all, Aisha, it's amazing what you're doing. To go from being a YouTuber, right, and being pushed out there by Vach and Okoye, where they basically was like, you need to go ahead and put yourself on camera. From that to becoming literally our Jackie Robinson. Y'all know what I mean by that when I say Jackie Robinson? Do y'all know what I mean by that? She
breaking barriers.
She integrated. She integrated. You know, and having a year one of breaking all those records like that, I'm so happy because you the right one too. You are the right one. You humble. You work hard. Brian Brothers told me behind the scenes, he said y'all was putting in 15-hour days. The last 3 days of the draft. 15-hour days on just last minute film.
Yeah.
So it's the stuff I was hearing behind the scenes like, what? So you are the pioneer of the YouTube. It's you. You are the first one. And we go all get jobs because of you. For real talk. Because you represent so well. So I just want to say thank you. That's my final word is thank you. Just for and I know it mean a lot you being from DFW. I know it mean a lot that you literally are not just the voice of the Cowboys, you the voice of the community now. You know. So I don't care about the dog. The dog cool. You can put him on camera.
He's literally going to town on this water.
You can put him. Listen, we cool with dogs.
Is that Congo?
Man, bring the dog on in the show. Man, I ain't tripping.
This water up.
It's all good. It's no problem. But you know, and then on top of that, I love the content. I just love how y'all have shut the mouths of people who would think because you're a woman or because you're a minority that you don't belong. Right. Like I say, man, and I mean what I say this. Men might lie, women might lie, but numbers don't lie. And the numbers say you where you supposed to be. So we want to get you back. I don't know when that's gonna be. This is a slow period. I know this is a slower period, and I'm glad that you came and talked ball with us. You gave us a lot of insight. We're gonna be able to talk more about what we discovered today. So my final word is continue to push and be the ambassador that you are, man. And I really appreciate you. That's my final word.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I definitely have to share the same sentiments that Boss Cowboy did, and as you guys know, I have no problem sharing a lot of praise for Aisha for being, the voice. You know what I'm saying, the voice behind that building. Because what a lot of people don't know is that us YouTubers, we're looked at as just regular people. Even though we have that passion, and we might be right on a lot of things, but with the way that new media is happening, Aisha has taken new media to another level and shown that new media can survive old media and integrate. So as Boss said, yes, definitely Jackie Robinson. part of my final word tonight really is something y'all kind of touched on right before, about the tight ends. I think that people should trust their eyes a lot more.
Yes.
Rather than people telling them things. And I say that because I've disagreed with Brian Broaddus about this. I've disagreed with him since he's been saying it. Tape has shown me different.
Hold on, bro. I gotta hit that effect. I'm so sorry. I had to hit you with the fire button, bro. Keep going. Fire.
I've disagreed with it, and I heard it on the draft show, and I kept hearing it, and maybe back then I believed it, but the reps are saying different. The film, as I've broken these guys down, has shown different. So the only thing that I tell people out there right now is I'm no longer believing words just because people said it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I'm no longer believing graphs and analytics just because you post somebody else's work.
I
ask you that if I got the passion to go out here and show my work and do it, I ask you to do the same. If not, don't feel a certain way when I just respectfully decline whatever your comment is. And I'm also going to push back on some of these big guns out here just saying things because it's irresponsible. Not saying Brian is irresponsible because I definitely trust a lot of what Brian says.
No doubt.
I'm just saying I disagree here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you have a right to disagree when you do the work. So that's all I got for my final word, man. Appreciate y'all.
Oh, man, that was so dope. And see, I got to hit you with a couple of buttons on that. Oh, my God. There we go on the big. Bro, I love that final word. Ooh-wee. And see, it's no disrespect to nobody. That's not disrespecting anybody. That's why I say my favorite saying is trust but verify. Don't trust me. Yeah. Don't trust DMV. Don't trust Big. Don't trust Aisha. Don't trust the OC. Don't trust Brian Broaddus. Don't trust nobody. Trust your eyes. I love it, DMV. Ooh, I love it. And I think more need to hear that because it's okay to say what you see. I just love that final word. I loved it. Go ahead, Big.
Appreciate you.
Woo.
That's a hard one to follow.
I know.
But I'm going to try.
He cooked.
DMV said a lot right there. But he kept it totally real. Shout out to DMV on that. Straight because up. he knows I feel everything he said with that, especially the end part. But shout out especially with that end part. Shout out to Aisha. It was my first time actually meeting you, and I have been watching you. Just like Boss said, I mean, just listening to you on air, man. You really know what you're talking about. I mean, straight up, like just really listening to you, like you sound so professional. Wow, you just sound really articulate.
Like she made for it.
Yeah, like you were really breaking down that football, and I really love seeing the ladies because so many times ladies get slighted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you a female, you don't know no football. You don't know a dig. You don't know a slug or route. So many people.
What she know about hands?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tries to put you in a box.
Yeah.
And you have broken out that box.
Yep.
And I really love seeing it. And I just wish you nothing but blessings. You're kicking down doors, like you said, like Boss said, DMV. You're kicking down doors for the people behind you.
Yep.
The ladies that maybe want to inspire to get into media, and maybe they're on YouTube or maybe they're doing anything. I mean, you're the person they can look to.
Yep.
You feel me? You're the inspiration that they can say, I can do this too. So please, gravitate to that. I mean, hold on to that because we love seeing it. I love seeing it. And, especially being a minority female, you know how hard that is to get in, hard is that to get in there? So, man, you are Jackie Robinson. You are breaking down barriers, breaking down doors. It's just wild. And I just want to give you mad props. It was a pleasure to meet you today. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And hopefully we'll be able to talk again. And I think that's going to be my final word. You know, I don't really have too much to say about it. I just want to give you your flowers today on what you're doing, and please continue to, like I said, you're an inspiration to a lot of the ladies out there, because I know a lot of them are watching you and saying, I can do this too. And you always need that person to start it, right?
Yep.
Even in movements, civil rights movements, things of that nature, you need somebody on them front lines so people come behind you and be like, we got you. We can do this too. And the more they see you do it, the more people are coming. So awesome. Shout out to you. And I love you for it. That's my final word.
And before you go, Aisha, with your final word, we do have Kevin Gray coming next week. Vach committed. We just gotta get a time. I just need to follow back up with him, but he already committed. We have Yeoman, who committed to Big Game James, and we also have Clarence Hill that committed, and a lot more. But we gonna stop right there. But I'm excited about this particular visit, because this particular visit is something that's like both. So I just want to give a reminder to y'all, stay with us, because we're going to be talking to a lot of different insiders. So y'all make sure y'all hit that like, share, and subscribe, not just to my channel, Boss Cowboy Sports, but make sure you do it to Law Nation, Big Game James, DMV, also Jay Tuck with CFO. We also have... Oh, my boy in the building. Oh, wait. We got the OG. I'm sorry, Aisha. We got the OG in the building. What's up, big dog? I was like, what's good with Where is Low? What's up, baby? Let's get it.
Yo. Hey, man. Hey. Yes, indeed. What's good with you, Aisha? And shout out to the panel. I want to echo what Big Game James said, being a trailblazer, being who you are, a beacon of light and hope for those who are out there that want to get into this space, and leaving no excuses on the table. I love it. Matter of fact, I enjoy seeing you glow and seeing your light out there. So I can't wait to rewind this episode and see all of the good stuff and the ingredients that we have out here. And hey, let's continue to grind. Let's continue to push this out and look back at this and say, man, look at this community. We are the best community, period. I mean, we are the blueprint. I'm looking at Eagles, Washington, the Giants, everybody trying to replicate this, but they try to, but they can't duplicate what we bring in over here. And it's all brought to you by the phenomenal panel of the Final Word, as well as you, Aisha. Keep doing your thing. Man, I love it.
Hey, man, you got to get your final words. You can't come in here and not get your final words, big dog. We got to hear, like, what's your thoughts on whatever you heard on the show, or you didn't even really ask no question, man. We want to kind of pause the final word and let you get it in, because you also are, because I said the same thing about Aisha that I got to say about y'all. Y'all don't brag on yourself. You know what I mean? Y'all don't. So we brag for you. So you are the biggest independent YouTuber in the world. Like, literally, Law Nation has 1/3 of the Dallas Cowboys subscribers. 1/3 by himself. So it will be just right to stop for a second, see if you got anything for Aisha, like content-related questions, and then we'll get into her final words and yours.
Well, I didn't get a chance to listen to the full show.
Okay.
All I can say is for right now, continue to do your job over there of providing us that raw, real insight. None of that watered down stuff. None of that wee woo stuff, right? Yeah. And let's go. And we will find out more when she'll know what wee woo is.
Oh man. I'm pretty sure she know what wee woo is, but if she don't know, I gotta hit the button in case she don't know.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, let me see if I got my button up.
She anti-wee-woo. I love it.
Yeah, here we go.
Do you see this guy?
There was no wee-woo.
Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee-woo.
Yeah, so that's that wee-woo, man. But yeah, man, so what's your final words? What's your final words?
Right.
My final words, guys, I want y'all to know, like, the support I get from y'all and people around is sometimes the only support I get, and I'm not trying to make y'all feel sad or anything. I just want y'all to know that I think it's difficult. You know, I do come from a predominantly Black family. What I'm doing, I'm not only a trailblazer, you know, for other people, but for my family. And so a lot of them don't understand the gravity of what I'm doing. They don't understand like what I'm taking on. So sometimes y'all's support and love is all I get because they don't get it. So I want y'all to know it doesn't fall on deaf ears. I appreciate every single time y'all tweet at me and things like that. And I also just want y'all to know that I'm working my tail off to represent well. I'm really big on perception and representation, and I'm really trying to, I take onus at the fact that I was a YouTuber even for a small amount of time. Like I care about how our community is viewed and you know, being on the Cowboy side. So yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all that I see y'all all the time. I see y'all all the time, and I appreciate y'all, everything y'all do. And I will say that I'm gonna echo what Micah said, that you got it's an energy in the air. This team, and listen, I told my best friend this. I told her I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it out loud.
Say it.
Even if it's not this year, it's close. It's and I know it sounds like everybody says that about the Cowboys or whatever, but when you watching it in motion, when you're watching the team build and continue to build, I think they had a few chinks in their armor, and they polishing that up, and they trying to get it right. We'll see, man. It does feel different. The energy does feel real. So I just wanted to say that.
Man. I say what she ain't said. I said we supposed to win the Super Bowl. We that cold.
And you know what? Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it. You know what?
This is a Super Bowl talented squad, and it's come together.
You know, hey, don't be scary about it, bro. All these fans being scary.
I'm not being scary. I just don't want nobody being like.
No, you got this spirit.
Man, this is a
Jimmy
Super Bowl.
Johnson, you know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Jimmy said, put that in 3-inch headlines. You know, come on. That's what we need. That tenacity.
Can we check or something?
Put me in 4K saying we going to the bowl.
We going to it, man.
Say it.
I've been really in the field.
Say it.
Wish I love the feeling.
Say it.
I just wanna
Hey, you went to the bowl.
don't need deals, I make the deal. Have the ticket to.
And if it was up to me, if it was up to little old me to take a pick, it would probably go a little something like this. And with the 17th pick of the 2020 Dallas Cowboys NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select CeeDee Lamb. Oh.
Great show, man. Great show. Thank you so much, Miss Aisha. Thank you, Mr. DMV. Appreciate it.
Always.
I will move down.
The smart thing would be to move down, but the Cowboys historically don't.
Boss could be a trade down here with Justin. We got to trade. We got to trade. We got to trade.
I said this is the place to move down.
We were just sitting here talking Justin Fields.
I said it loud and clear. This is the place to move down.
Go hard, or go home. Go home. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard,
or go home.
I love Parsons as a rush defensive end, right? If you draft him and you put him on the end, turn him into another DeMarcus Ware. Let him rush.
Y'all make sure y'all come back, man. We got a lot of fire people coming, man. Let's go talk this good football with the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go.
Yeah, this gotta be Parsons. Like Parsons the best player available.
Go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now.
So the Cowboys just selected Jake Ferguson with pick 129. Hey, I'm good. I love the pick. I love the player.
We're broad as that.
I know that a lot of people will say that this is probably a reach. This is about where I had Jake Ferguson. Really solid player from Wisconsin. He can do all of it. He can block. He can run routes.
Man, I wish I was on the show last week. I'm like, wait, man.
A race car like a Target. Caught filling up. I need parking. Treat the business like a playground. Might slide.
Man, you know I wish you was on the show. I told you, DMV, you speak your mind, bro. I love it. I love it.
Go hard.
Y'all might be right, dog. I might be the loose cannon, bro.
Nah, you good. You good. People gotta be able to respect people that speak their mind. That's all it is. You speak your mind. And we respected her. You at home. You feel me? Shit.
Hey, congratulations on those film breakdowns too, man. You done.
Hey, appreciate you, big dog. I didn't even know you was looking.
Yeah.